This is the first dummy I've lived through this. I pounded this together 9 or 10 months ago. Sat down at the computer and in a day and a half put together a pretty straightforward chronological take on that trip Steph and I took. Sent it off to Blurb and had one copy made just so I could see kind of what I was dealing with. Starts off with user, descriptions of what I was doing. Then I met Stephanie and gets into the meat of the project. Lots of kind of disparate images of newspaper articles and some documentary type stuff. It became apparent that the book was too long and pedestrian and held your hand a little too much, described way too much, and there was too many plots and subplots. So I started chopping and 9 months later, after 20 or 25 or 30 versions and subversions, edits and different edits, what we end up with is essentially a book of quite still portraits of Stephanie with hardly any context, some images of her writing, notes to myself and to other people. Later on in the book there's photographs of medical documents that came into play, and the writing has changed from my writing, which describes what's going on, to Stephanie's writing, and there's way less of it throughout the book. Sometimes the writing alludes to what was going on in that little sequence of images that the writing's in amongst, and sometimes the writing has nothing to do with anything except how Stephanie was feeling and who she is. But stuff like this, the documentary type stuff, is all gone. It's a much quieter book now, and in the back there's still going to be a 12-page removable booklet that describes Steph's story in her own words, starting with her first memory and ending with when she left my house to go back to Nova Scotia. It's going to be an 80-page book with about 50 images. And this is where it all started, though. The first dummy have lived through this. It's come away since then.